We have this beautiful 45XL Prevost coming in for some maintenance service. We're going to go through it and see what we find. Probably quite a bit. So we're going through and doing our yearly inspection on this one. It's been a year since we've seen it. It's amazing how many things can happen within a year of using a bus, especially when it had been off the road for quite a while before that. So now that things are starting to get cycled a lot on it. We're seeing some rubber components that were failing. The front brakes have some issues that we're going to find. Just a few other things that were, things to keep an eye on last year. By this year, they need to be replaced. So that's the importance of having yearly maintenance. Come in and get everything looked at every year. Yeah, if you haven't noticed that we do all of our buses that the people live in full time, we work on them in the outdoor shop here so they can live in the bus, and then we don't have odors and stuff like that in the shop from the sewer RV vents and stuff like that. So he looks real nice out here too, parked next to Lenny. It's amazing the different sizes in buses now. That one's definitely hanging lower, and the teeth sizes are different.
I'm glad we looked at this.
This air pressure regulator sets the tension for the belts for the fan. It's leaking pretty good air leak on it here. They do make a rebuild kit for it, but it's cheaper labor-wise just to replace the part. These front disc brake rotors have some pretty severe heat checking and big cracks. They're deep and they're getting longer and wider. They've really grown. This one on the back side here, it's filled in with brake dust, but that's a pretty significant crack out of there. The other side's even worse, but I just wanted to really get a good angle on here with the light. But yeah, that's pretty significant crack. You can also tell that the pads haven't been evenly distributing their pressure across the face of the rotor here, so there's some pad wear and some other issues going on, but it certainly doesn't look like a healthy brake rotor at all. You see a lot of rubber problems here on the front end. The rubber bushings here for these upper A-arms are split coming out. The bushings here for the links for the sway bar, they're really cracking pretty bad. This one's bulged out, but now's the time to replace them. We're going to just do some front end work and get this thing up to snuff. Surprisingly, it's not overweight on the front axle. Usually these are, so yeah, you can see how bad those bushings are. They're going to just continue to fall apart. Yeah, look how bad these bushings are on this side. I mean, it's not even attached anymore. This is not good. The rubber components are just coming apart. Oh yeah, totally torn.
Yeah.
Just the one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Not only are the slide pins sticking, but the boots inside these calipers are torn, so moisture and stuff's getting inside there. That's not good.
Because with this properly adjusted, that rubber's opened up.
Yeah.
Every bit of.
The front caliper on the other side has a torn boot internally as well. And then this is the boot for the slide pin, and it's all dry rotted and got holes in it, so moisture's going to get in and rust out those slide pins. Here's the gross vehicle weight rating on the bus, and you can see what the weight is here, and here's an actual scale number on it here, and this bus is like 4,000 pounds overweight. Surprisingly, the front axle is not overweight, but the bus is 4,000 pounds over the gross vehicle weight rating, so it's definitely heavy. These conversions always are, but the front end problems aren't caused by being overweight. Well, I'm just trying to slide it. It should, that sliding motion right there, it should just bloop, 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 back and forth.
So it's not working correctly.
That's correct. And then,
So it's a good thing we dug into this.
yeah, this is sticking out further over here than it is here. So the brake pads weren't getting, uh-oh.
It was already like that before me.
Oh my God, yeah.
So you're just doing this for diet.
What setting is that on?
See?
This video is sponsored by Upside. We started using the Upside app about 3 years ago when they sponsored us. Gas prices are rising fast. Now's the time to take advantage of a money-saving app like Upside. You can save discounts on gasoline purchases, dining, and some groceries. The Upside app can earn you cash back on your purchases. Yes, actual cash back, not just some kind of points that accumulate somewhere magically. It's actually cash that goes into your checking account. And if you use when you use your credit card, you can also double up on the savings. If your credit card has reward points and stuff like that, you can stack those up. Over 100,000 participating locations. Once you start checking the map, you realize how often there's a participating location close to where you're already going. The Upside app is free to download. The Upside app has given back over $1 billion to its users. To find out how much you could earn, download the free Upside app and use the promo code BGM. Get an additional 25 cents back for every gallon of your first tank of gas. That's an extra 25 cents back off of every gallon if you use the promo code BGM. I just logged on and checked the Upside app today. I can save 50 cents a gallon on mid-grade in my town, or if I'm going to the next town over, which I need to make a trip there tomorrow, it's 61 cents a gallon cash back. Special thanks to Upside for sponsoring this video. Make sure you download the free app today so you can start checking out how much cash back you could be earning right now with the purchase you're already making. Breaking out the big boy heat. Yes. Rotors and pads. Yeah. Fire through the hole. The other one is seized up too. Yeah. I have these plugged. So we just did our brake inspection on these Rockwell brakes. This is the other kind of disc brakes that has these pins that also rust and seize real well. So we went through and pulled them all, cleaned all the pins, got everything cleaned up, inspected. Originally, these pins were required to be inspected twice in the lifetime of the brake pads, which is probably like once every 150,000 miles. But because they seize up and they're so bad, they moved that maintenance interval to twice a year or every 6,250 miles. These things have to be cleaned and inspected. That's a crazy short interval for something that you want to be able to drive in, and for how difficult it is. Like, you gotta, most people aren't gonna be able to do this themselves. It's not like you're just looking at it to actually service it. So twice a year, 6,250 miles. We did this one. It's been a year since we've done it. He's only done about 3,000 miles, and they look perfect. So I think if you push it a year, I think you're gonna be fine. But the problem is when they sit for a long time. That's when you're gonna have an issue. So, but yeah, that's everything looked good. All the pins, I'll show a picture of them here, but they look great. And then you torque them down and they get locked back in place there with the hold down. So pretty easy to do, but you really need to take the tire off. That way you got good access to it. Yeah, just a couple little wear witness marks on them, but they're getting used and they look really good. They're in very good shape. The old ones we had to pound out with a sledgehammer last year. Yeah, all the front brake pads look like this. You can see they're not wearing evenly. Obviously the cracking and breaking on them, they're fracturing from the heat. And then here's the rotor that we have off. You can see how these cracks are they're very long and very deep and wide. Let's play it safe. I mean, this thing weighs 52,000 pounds. Let's make it right. To get these upper A-arms off, we're going to lower the body down onto these jack stands so it's supported and we get everything secure. We don't want anything to move on the front end. It makes this a little bit easier to do that. So we just let the air out and bring it down to the jack stands so the whole body is supported on the jack stands firmly. The ABS light wasn't on, but that ABS sensor definitely has taken a couple of strikes on the tone ring.
Yeah, so like flick your turn signal
See-
and the whole thing's
see-
moving.
See that? See if
Yeah.
that's the turn signal, right? But like if I'm doing the turn so I'm driving down the road, see the whole thing moves?
Yeah, so you gotta.
It'll go way down here.
So to stop this whole turn signal assembly from sliding around there, you remove this screw out of the backside of the cover, and there's some clamping down bolts here. Just tighten down those little screws there, and it clamped it nice and tight so it no longer moves like that. That was kind of a safety hazard. We got our first shipment of parts in here. The bus owner went over to Prevost in Goodlettsville, Tennessee, and picked up a lot of stuff, so we didn't have to pay to have it shipped or anything, and we got it right away. So we can start reassembling things even on day one, which is good. Most of it they had in stock. A few things have to come from New Jersey, but at least we got most of it. It's been a heck of a long day. We got a lot done on day one. We actually have 7 Prevosts here on the property right now. This other one just came back in for some scheduled maintenance. We had to order a part for it. It was here last week. We should have him out of here in the morning. So these are a little difficult normally to move. This one we just took off. Be in the way there. Ow.
Who does he put the pin in?
After we torque it. Gotta go a little bit further.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got it?
Yep. Is that one loose like the other? Yep. That's why they put grease fittings in them now. Yeah, you can see here how the new style has the grease fittings built right into it there. So it's got a fitting here, and then this is like an overflow. It'll pop off there, so you know when it's full. But yeah, the old ones didn't even have the grease fittings like that. So that's a big improvement for that ball joint down there. We're getting it installed. We're still hooking up the airbag back to it again. These airbags are relatively new. There's no dry rotting or cracking on them or anything. Otherwise, we would replace that airbag because you have to remove this to be able to replace that airbag. Dumb design, but yeah. Yeah, so here you can see how worn out this ball joint is. There's like no tension on it and it moves. This was the original, and there's no grease fittings on there, so this is supposed to be a sealed unit. You could pierce these and grease them, but then you're allowing water. But the way they sit, at least the water would run out of them. But yeah, that's a lot of wear, and I'll show you another one that's got the new style and old one, and it's not like this ridiculous nothing, just flops around. Yeah, here's another one that we removed off a different bus. This has a grease fitting on it here. And you can see the boot is severely torn on it, but it does actually move. But it's not like a, I mean, that's 30 or 40 pounds of pressure to get it to move. It doesn't just flop around like a nothing. That's how it should react. We're replacing the drive axle shocks. There's newer conies on the steer and the tags, but these old ones that were on here, the gas shocks were just shot. They're not rebounding or anything on their own, and then the bushings were falling apart on them, so just replace them. We're also replacing the air dryer desiccant cartridge. It had a little bit of oil, but mostly just water, and it needs to be serviced.
Just push it down.
Just push it down. And then it should rebound on its own, but it's not. And then somewhere. These carriers are the only part that'll get reused. We're just going to clean them up real good.
Except for this.
So these are the new, latest, updated version of these, where instead of having that rubber boot that gets the hole and gets the moisture in there, they get sealed in with a cap like that. But this is like version 3 of these. This is the best version that they have right now. So these don't get nearly as rusty and corroded as the original ones, and even version 2. So by replacing the calipers, since we had the problem with the torn boots on the inside where they need to be rebuilt to be corrected, plus we didn't have an even load on there, so we just replaced them, erring on the side of caution, plus we got the latest and greatest version of this. But the old ones were obviously sticking to have that much damage on that brake. That's a lot of heat damage there. Yeah, you can see how easily they move now. I couldn't even move it before. And just to remind you how the old pads looked, they were just terrible. You wouldn't want those, your family going down the highway with this thing behind you. You don't want that. The new ones, much better. These new rotors are pretty sexy. They don't have any weights on them, like they have them not way out of balance, that they had to be rebalanced. So they look centered. We've had some bad ones come in before that look a little sketchy, but these look like a real good casting. Nice quality. So we ordered these. They're supposed to be a set from Prevost, and we're replacing them because the set that we have on there is not. It's supposed to be like 3 cut off of the same conveyor belt manufacturing process. So, but here we can clearly see again that we have different size teeth. So the teeth don't line up. So they're clearly not off of the same conveyor belt. It's not a matched set. Three identical part numbers, but they're supposed to be sold as a set. So here's another screw up from Prevost, I'm assuming. I don't know if the part number that's here is right or not, but it says it's a regulator for the belt tensioner is what we ordered. So it's a metal regulator that controls the air pressure to it, and this is what they've sent that attached to, which is like some kind of a rubber boot. Looks like maybe it goes like around a stick shift or something. I have no idea what part this is, but it's clearly not a regulator for the air pressure for the belt tensioner. All right, well, we're at the end of day 2 on this one. We were hoping to be done tomorrow, but now that all those part snafus from Prevost, I don't think they have that stuff in stock in Nashville. We tried to get a hold of them in time for them to ship them overnight from California. I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not, but we'll find out, I guess, what happens tomorrow. But otherwise, we'll have it the next day. So Thursday morning, we should have this bus out of here, hopefully. But a lot of work going into it for a yearly inspection. He's probably looking $10,000 ish. Just give you a ballpark. Normally we expect about $5,000 of maintenance a year, but he is still playing catch up because it did sit for a while. We've only seen it one other time, so it's never ending with a bus for sure.